Good morning, everybody. Wanted to tell you a story of having dinner last night. We normally at that time share what we call ups and downs, but we were inspired by one of Graceland's friends who introduced to us a new kind of expressing our gratitude or love for each other or God, and she called it a gig. And I asked her to explain it, and she said it's sometime throughout the day when you know that God is good. And each of us went around the table and shared a gig um, about sharing a story of how we know God is good throughout our day. And when it came around to me, I considered my day. Um, as many of you know, I'm a hospice chaplain, and I work with a lot of people that have that are in grief. And in one particular case, I just recognized that this person that I was sitting across from was losing everything from their hopes and their dreams to their health and to eventually their life. And the person sitting across from me asked me, how can I have faith? And we just sat there kind of in pain together, and I'm not really here to share my answer, but as I reflected upon that, I thought of the passage in John chapter 10 when Jesus says, "I am the gate, and all who enter through me will be saved and will go out and find new pasture." And he concludes his talk by saying, "The thief comes to steal and destroy, but I come that you might have life and life in abundance." And I thought of that passage in sharing my gig, God is Good, recognizing that there is so much pain, suffering, hurt, disaster, destruction, disease out there. And that is, for me, nothing less than the thief coming to steal and destroy. As long as the thief has a foothold, as long as the thief has reign over this earth, he will steal and destroy as much as possible. But I know that God is good because he has made a way for us to step away from that, to enter into something new. As he says, "I am the gate," and that something new is to step into his goodness. With all this pain and suffering in the world, we have got to believe that God is good. Not just in a sentiment, but in an act of faith. Otherwise, we're stuck on the other side of the gate in all the misery and all the suffering, which is very real. But I invite you to consider how Jesus is that gate and invites you to enter into that new life. Not only life everlasting, but life of abundance here in this life. And we're not talking about material or feelings, but just to know that he is good. What's your gig today? A time when you know that God is good. That was mine that I shared with the group, and I invite you to do so sometime today or this week. Amen.